What's up, B2? Capital G here. Welcome to another episode of The Excellent Adventures. These are the excellent adventures of Performance Prophecy, and basically everything that you are going to see is going to be something related to spellcasters in this deck, except for the hand traps. Of course, this deck can summon a lot of synchros, exceeds, and fusions, all of which are going to be spellcaster based. And when I first saw this, I was like, this seems a little just small table 500-ish, but the duels actually got progressively better, and that's why you guys are watching these. So first duel is going to be against a pretty Kappa version of Phantom Knights. I know you guys saw the Black Horn of Heaven and the Wabaku. Obviously Black Horn of Heaven hasn't really been, like, that card hasn't seen play since Zexal. It was really good during Zexal because everything was exceed based and your opponent put two cards in and you could just, obviously Black Horn them. But then the Pendulum Summon came out and kind of killed the viability of the card, plus link ones and link twos, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of so easy to go and link summon right now. Not sure that Black Horn of Heaven is really all that good. Now you're seeing that the Phantom Knight or the PK player is able to use a bunch of back row to keep the Performance Prophecy deck at bay. However, he is going to be able to get a couple of top decks here. Well, really just a hat tricker. And this is pretty dope, going for the Arcanite Magician. I'm a big fan of Arcanite Magician, man. Not only attack over the Break Sword, but then in main phase 2, have a couple of pops, be able to get rid of the Imperial Order, and be able to get rid of a PK monster, and then go for the Spellbook of Knowledge, which actually gets him a couple of draws, and kind of gets you back into the engine with the Spellbook of Prophecy, the blue boy. So that's pretty good. Now Damage Juggler is gonna block the attack. Not even sure if that was necessary, but there are a lot of performance monsters in this deck, so you're going to see a whole bunch of that. He is going to go for the Phantom Knight of Fog Blade, but because Hat Tricker is always an option, goes for the Akashic Magician, then is able to summon the Quintet Magician, nuke the entire board, and then play Spellbook of Power. This is actually game even through the Phantom Knights of Fog Blade. He's going to summon Breaksword back, but it doesn't matter. He actually did need that Spellbook of Power. Otherwise, it would not have been game in that situation. This is going to be against them super heavy samurai boys. They just got a Link monster, so they're feeling pretty damn good. And, if you're playing Prophecy and your opponent just sets one and you have Regeki, you're feeling really good about your position. Also, because of the Hat Tricker, he's able to play the Crowley and just go into it fairly easily. We got some Summon Sorceress plays, which allows him to summon Trick Clown from the grave, and, from the deck. And I had not seen Trapeze Magician since 2015. This is crazy, right? There was actually a time where I thought Trapeze Magician was ban worthy. You guys think, Cat G, you're so dumb. You guys remember when Pepe, like, Perform Magician Powers was like tier 0, man, and they would use this card. I'd always get OTK'd by it. I'd be like, yo, ban that card. Anyways, back to the duel. This was so cheeky, right? So here's what happens. Spellbook of Fate is used during the battle phase, and then his opponent's actually going to use this guy right here, the Super Heavy Samurai Soul Bang Cannon, and this card negates an effect that was activated during the battle phase and then burns your opponent for some damage. But since it does burn damage, you can actually change Damage Juggler to it, and you actually get the negated, thus the Spellbook of Fate will resolve. That was so weird, because if the card didn't randomly do burn damage, then the Damage Juggler would not have been able to basically stop it. I believe we're going to see another rank 4 here. Yep, going for the regular Utopia. No Utopia double, unfortunately, but it looks like this should be a wrap for this duel. Super Heavy Samurai just getting wrecked by that random Damage Juggler in hand. And we're going to have a couple of competitive duels, because I think we have a couple of Sky Striker duels, which definitely made me think, okay, yeah, actually this is against Thunder Dragons. It's a Kappa version of Thunder Dragons, though, because he's running Evil Swarm Thunderbird. This is a Super Thunder version. And I mean, I don't know, maybe the Regeki on Thunderbird was even more Kappa than that, because obviously it's not going to do anything because Thunderbird can just dodge it. He tries to activate the Magical Implar effect, I believe. Maybe he was trying to, well, I think he was just getting counters, and then Impermanence just shut him down. Doesn't matter though, because Damage Juggler is at least going to stop one of those attacks. And I think he banished the second Thunderbird just so that he could have two of them that are at 1900. And these impermanences are doing work right now. However, he does have the copy of Spellbook of Secrets in hand, but he doesn't even need that. He just goes for Crowley, gets a +1, then goes for Spellbook of the Master, which you don't ever really see these cards anymore for the most part. Spellbook of Life, bringing back the Exemplar. And now, if he can get enough spell counters, he can actually bring back the blue boy. Maybe we see, yep, Summon Sorceress play, goes for for the Trick Clown. We might be looking at another Trapeze Magician, and I think we could possibly see an OTK. Yeah, there it is. He's got the copy of Utopia the Lightning, and I believe that Trapeze Magician was used on Summon Sorceress to allow it to attack twice. And you know what? See, the duels are getting progressively better. We got a nice little Spellbook powered OTK there. This next duel's against Cosmos. Now, I believe that, you Cosmo players playing these freaking Dark Planets and Dark Eclipses, man, y'all gotta cut that shit out. Those cards are not, all they do is just clog your hand, honestly. And this is gonna be pretty, it's pretty troll. Activates Reasoning, calls 3, ends up getting the Ash Blossom. Yeah, that's definitely a get wrecked moment. But it's fine, because, I mean, like, if there's one card that can kind of fix everything, it probably would be Farm Girl, especially because it gets him to the Dark Destroyer. And then he has a Call of the Haunted set as well. Definitely not bad. Now, the great equalizer in these matchups like Cosmo is cards like Utopia the Lightning, and even something like the Quintet Magician is just so difficult for Cosmos to actually kill. And you see Quintet is coming out early and often in these duels. Forerunners coming out, but it doesn't matter. It's got 4,500 attack. Tin Can's going to be threatened, but he is going to tag out for another Forerunner, so at least he can get a little bit of his life points back. It's another Dark Planet. Why are you playing that card? Now he's just super bricking his hand. That's why you got to not play that card. Now, at least he has a bunch of, consistent ships, so these cards are floating, even if he is losing some life points, and he's basically just going to sit on this Dogfighter for like multiple turns, which at least get you a couple of tokens. Thank goodness he got Cosmos Hound to fix his hand and get rid of them damn ships. I think he may have set Call. Yeah, he set Call of the Haunted. And he has 3 tokens right now. I think maybe he probably should have done some link summoning there to try to find some way to get from under this Quintet Magician, because if you can't pop it with Dark Destroyer. He's going to go for Trapeze Magician. I think he's just trying to get rid of the tokens, and this is actually kind of cheeky, right? So you know how at the end of the battle phase, the monster is supposed to die. Off the effect of the Performance Pal. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting the name. Trapeze Magician. Well, since this guy can't die by card effects, it means that you can continually use it, and you'll never really have to pay like any penalties, and your monster will just kind of stay on the field. Now, this was pretty cool. He did use Trapeze Magician to summon Damage Juggler, and then he used the Trick Clown to summon the Trapeze Magician back. Now we could see maybe a Link 4 play, maybe a Boral Sword or something of that mix. Yep, we're gonna see a Boral Low Dragon, not a Sword Dragon. I still like Boral Low Dragon over Boral Sword. I know that a lot of people probably disagree with me, but I'm just a real big fan. Constantly popping the Trapeze Magician, not doing anything. I guarantee you that 90% of people have completely forgotten that Trapeze Magician floats into another performance monster, because it's not relevant. Like we have not seen like performages in the meta in such a long time. Our last duel is a 2 out of 3 against Sky Striker, and Sky Striker has, I would say, a pretty good hand. I would have maybe used Impermanence on the Crowley, but I think this is a situation where you're looking at your opponent's deck and you're thinking, Cap, I'm not gonna lose to some fucking Performage Prophecy deck, so I'm gonna just hold on to my Impermanence. And he unfortunately gets another Ghost Ogre, or gets a Ghost Ogre and then another Impermanence, so he didn't really have any engine cards, but luckily he does have the copy of Startup Engage, and he gets to Ray, and he's doing okay here. He's going to use Afterburner to pop the Summon Sorceress, and I believe that, well, he could have used Widowmaker there to just take Trapeze Magician, which might have actually been the better play. Now, this was a weird play. I'd never seen this card before. It's called Trick Box, right? And here's what it does. It takes your opponent's monster, and then you give them a Performance monster, but then the Performance monster at the end of the turn actually comes back to you. So it's like a weird like creature swap type card, and you can see he's able to recover a bunch of his cards. Now, luckily he did, well, no, I was gonna say he had multi-roll to save him, but multi-roll gets hit by that Cosmic Cyclone, and he goes straight into Borreload, which I thought was weird, because I'm like, yo, Borreload is kind of terrible against Sky Strikers, but I think it was a situation where he just wanted to open up the extra monster zone so that he could go for the Quintet. But even Quintet is going to be snatched stolen. It's not looking good. But Arcanite Magician trying to go after the back row. He can't, well, I guess he could have actually used the Impermanence. I thought it was another, Spellbook, I thought it was another Sky Striker spell card. And I'm thinking he can't use it because he has a monster in the main monster zone. And somehow Sky Strikers end up losing that game. But don't worry, we got a game 2. Let's see if Sky Striker can get up off the mat. And Sky Striker are going first. Now, I don't know what type of builds of Sky Striker run Glow Up Bulb, or, I mean, like, what is this even for? Isn't Ray Dark Attribute? I was like, oh, it's for Neteria. Be like, that doesn't make sense either, because Ray is Dark Attributes. So that doesn't work. Shizuku is going to get hit by the Ash Blossom. He does have the Cosmic Cyclone for the multi-roll, but instead goes for the back row, and he MSTs, he chain MST on Cosmic Cyclone, MST negate, guys. I'm not sure why he did that, because all that does is put more spells, put more spell counters on the Magical Implar. So I don't know why that was actually done, because now he can just actually try to activate the effect. Ghost Spell is going to be chained though, so at least that doesn't resolve. He's going to attack. Maybe we could see Regeki here in main phase 2. Nope, decides to just keep the Regeki. I feel like if you're playing Quintet, you're probably going to use Regeki for a really big push. I don't think I've ever seen the Earth Sky Striker summoned, because it's like terrible, but hey, he's going for it, so more power to him. Goes for Kagari to get the Mobilize Engage, and even though this looks like he's playing the deck terribly, it's like, it's still Sky Striker at the end of the day. It's still going to be able to do good things. I think this is Hercules based, right? He gets some cards back, but it doesn't matter. Well, I guess it does matter. If you're a bad Sky Striker player, I think that eventually it will kind of catch up with you. The Chaco is going to be something from the hand. Crowley is going to get a +1, and let's see if he can actually try to push this out. We could be seeing another Summon Sorceress play here. There is the Summon Sorceress, and I think maybe he's trying to get to the card that summons Quintet Magician, but I just don't think that he actually has it. Horny Drone's not really doing anything right now, because all it's going to do is just block and attack at this point. Actually, no, that might not even matter, because he's going for Trapeze Magician and Utopia the Lightning. What is the set card? He uses Regeki on the token just to make sure he can pull off the OTK, and the Mobilize Engage isn't doing anything. I feel like we may have just seen the worst Sky Striker player on planet Earth. If you guys agree, please give the video a thumbs up so that I know you agree. Let's pause for one quick second and check out what this this Performage Spellbook deck looks like on paper. Okay, so this is what the deck looks like on paper. The deck's name is the Spellbook Circus, and this deck definitely revolves 100% around spellcasters. We saw, I mean, different types of mechanics being used when it comes to the extra deck. Everything coming out, it seems like, was a spellcaster. Well, a couple of things weren't, but you got spellcasters coming out for all the mechanics, whether it be the fusion monsters. We saw Arcanite tearing it up in one of the duels. Obviously, when it comes to the Exceeds, Performage, Trapeze Magician, and then for the links, you even got the Summon Sorceress and the Akashic Magician. All of these cards obviously are targets for Spellbook of Knowledge and for the Spellbook of Life, but they also allow you to use Spellbook of Fate as well. Magical Exemplar is very important in this deck, because you'll notice that just about all the spellcasters in this deck are level 4 or they're level 2, like the Blue Boy. This means that she can easily pull either one of them back from the graveyard. If you just have one spell to activate, that's fine, because you can pull Blue Boy back. She'll get 2 spell counters, and that's enough to summon Blue Boy, and then you can go for like an Akashic Magician play or something like that, maybe bounce one of your opponent's cards. But if you do happen to get 4 counters on her, then, you know, obviously it's really good, especially with something like Trick Clown, because Trick Clown, you special summon it back, use it as link material, then that's pretty much an instant Summon Sorceress just off of 2 cards, instead of actually having to put 3 out. And, you know, Summon Sorceress can get you to your combo pieces. So just a nice little build. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.